do you think is the greatest shooter in NBA history? Is it Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, or Steph Curry? Well, today we're going to rank the most lethal and best outside gunners in league history, and let's see who will come out on top. Before we get things going, make sure to smash the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you would know if we release a new NBA video. Please like the videos as well, as that really helps with the algorithm. With that settled, let's jump onto it. Number 10. Drazen Petrov. If there was a player that carried the same godlike aura as Michael Jordan in Europe, Drazen Petrov was no doubt the one that came the closest to MJ's level. At 6'5", Petrov was a scoring machine that simply couldn't be stopped. This was the guy who once dropped 112 points back in 1985. Yes, you heard me right, 112 points in a single game. After spending his time mostly on the bench in his first 2 seasons in the NBA, Petrov would find his stride when he got traded to the Nets in 1990. Using his quick release and balanced shooting form, Petrov was automatic from anywhere on the floor. Whether it's coming off the screen or in an isolation situation, his pull-up jumper was sharp as the tip of a well-refined sword. The legendary career of Petrov, however, was prematurely cut short when he died because of a car accident in 1993. Reggie Miller, a great shooter in his own right, said in an interview that Drazen was the best shooter he ever faced, and he also said that he was quicker in pulling the trigger than Steph Curry. Despite his untimely demise, Petrov was one of the players who paved the way for the influx of great European players to enter the NBA. Number 9. Steve Kerr. If the greatest players in the world ask you to hit the most important basket of a championship-clinching game, there's no question that your name should be included in this list. Steve Kerr may not provide you with eye-popping numbers on his stat sheet, but when you gave him a clean look, you could bet that he could drill that jumper in his sleep. One of the key pieces in the Bulls' dynastic run from the mid to late 90s, Kerr was the designated bailout guy when MJ or Pippen got doubled or trapped by the defense. Time and time again, Kerr would deliver a perfect jump shot to salvage a possession, and even became the unsung hero in the finals when he hit the game-winning basket on top of the free throw line on a kick-out pass from MJ to give the Bulls the title. It has been 18 years since his retirement, but his 45.4% three-point percentage record still stands strong to this day. And even his current pupils, Steph Curry and Thompson, can't shatter it. All in all, Kerr has bagged 8 championships both as a player and a coach, and is a one-time three-point shooting champ in 1997. Number 8. Kevin Durant. In terms of long-range sniping, Kevin Durant is one of the most lethal when it comes to this category. Standing at almost 7 feet, KD is one of those unicorns who can dribble and shoot the leather with extreme ease. Using his elongated arms and 7'5" wingspan, KD can knock down J's and fadeaways like putting a crumpled paper inside a huge trash bin. Yes, it is that easy for Durant. Though KD acts like a well-paid mercenary by jumping from team to team, the result is always consistent and never different. From OKC, Golden State, to the borough of Brooklyn, KD is a rare breed of beast that can inflict damage from the inside and outside. He's a one-man difference maker, and we have seen him perform in the clutch with those long-range bombs and unguardable mid-range game. A 2-time champ, 2-time Finals MVP, and 1-time regular season MVP, KD has achieved all of these individual and team-based milestones courtesy of his pure and lethal shooting ability. Number 7. Peja Stojakovic. Peja Stojakovic was one of the deadliest triggermen in NBA history. Drafted in 1996 by the Sacramento Kings, Peja stayed a couple more seasons overseas before officially debuting in the NBA 2 years later. The 6'10" Serbian would initially play as a backup for aging veteran Corliss Williamson, before he assumed the starting role when Williamson got traded in 2000. As the starting small forward, Peja was an integral part of the Kings' balanced lineup that consisted of the perennial all-star Chris Webber, tough wing defender Doug Christie, the bit-sized shooter Mike Bibby, and the versatile veteran big man Vlade Divac. Collectively, the Kings worked as a unit, and Peja was the ever-accurate marksman that would hit the wide-open corner 3 or the dagger to seal the game. Eventually, Peja would evolve to become a more dynamic scorer from being merely a spot-up shooter. He was a 3-time All-Star, and at his prime, Peja averaged 24.2 points, while shooting 44% from beyond the arc and 93% from the charity stripe. Unlike his ringless Sacramento peers, Stojakovic was able to grab an NBA championship in 2011 while playing a limited role for the Dallas Mavericks. Number 6. Kyle Korver. For a guy that was traded for a copy machine, little did the New Jersey Nets know at the time that they had a legendary caliber of a shooter on their hands back in 2003. With cash running low on their payroll, the Nets sent their 51st overall pick Kyle Korver over to the 76ers to acquire his draft rights for $125,000. According to sources, the $125,000 was reportedly used to cover the cost of the Nets' summer league activities, and the remaining amount was used to purchase a photocopying machine. It's really funny to think that the 76ers were actually able to acquire the fourth best three-point shooter in NBA history in exchange for a small price and an inanimate object. As the game slowly began to extend more and more to the three-point line, lots of teams became interested in the services that Korver offered as an efficient three-point specialist. He played for 7 different teams in 17 seasons and was selected as an All-Star in 2015. Though he was primarily known as a catch-and-shoot guy, Korver specialized in running threes off a curl coming from a series of screens just like J.J. Redick, Rip Hamilton, and Reggie Miller. Teams often do have a set play designed specifically for Korver, as he can hit tough contested shots while running sideways. In the end, Korver was able to carve a long-lasting legacy as a three-point marksman. He currently ranks 4th all-time in total three-point field goals made with 2,450, and 10th in three-point field goal percentage with 42.8%. Number 5, Reggie Miller. With 2,560 three-point field goals made, the term three-pointer has followed Reggie Miller's name like a shadow throughout his career in the NBA. Armed with his impeccable shooting stroke, sturdy form, and brash on-court attitude, Miller was a killer from downtown that didn't miss quite that much. Whether the ball came from a catch or off the screen, Reggie could hit them all despite the varying shot difficulty. At 6'7", Miller would sometimes stretch his legs outward to draw fouls from oncoming defenders. Miller was so good at clipping them to the point that the NBA stepped in and enforced a rule called the Reggie Miller Rule, which stated that any player that deliberately creates contact with the intention of fishing for fouls will be called for an offensive foul. A 5-time All-Star and member of the 50-40-90 club, Miller also ranks 3rd all-time in three-point field goals made and 12th all-time in free throw percentage. Number 4, Larry Bird. For the first 3 years since the three-point shootout contest was inaugurated in 1984, several players tried to take the crown off Larry Bird's head, but unfortunately, all of them failed. And take note, he didn't even bother to take off his warm-up jacket in one of them. The Boston legend was simply automatic from mid to long range in his prime. His overarching set shot release was deemed unstoppable back then, as he could position himself to score anywhere on the court. When Bird was in his zone, you could expect that it would be a lights-out game for the 12-time All-Star. From tough fadeaways, one-legged fallaways, turnaround jumpers, to tightly contested shots, Bird took over and dominated games using his shooting prowess alone. A 3-time NBA champion and 2-time Finals MVP, there's no doubt that Larry Bird has cemented his name at the pantheon of all-time shooting legends. Number 3, Ray Allen. Ray Allen's steady hands and cold-blooded approach in hitting long-range bombs have landed him at number 3 on this list of legendary shooters. At the top of anyone's head, Allen will be remembered for his perfect and smooth shooting stroke. Elbow tucked in, eyes leveled, and his body always square to the rim. But did you know his perfect shooting routine can be credited to his rare disorder? According to an interview, Allen admitted that he had a borderline case of OCD, or obsessive-compulsive disorder. It means that he would always notice the small things that most people usually would not care about. For instance, if there's a tiny speck of litter on the floor, he cannot simply walk by without picking it up. Applying the same approach to his shooting mechanics, Allen would do the same pre-game routines and shooting exercises in every single game, so he wouldn't miss any small details that made up the bigger parts of his offensive game. Ray is currently the all-time king of three-pointers made with 2,973 and ranks 11th all-time in three-point percentage. Number 2, Klay Thompson. One half of the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson is arguably the best catch-and-shoot guy in league history. His backcourt partnership with Steph Curry has given the league a run for its money as the Warriors grabbed multiple championships under their hot shooting reign. This guy holds the record for the most points scored in a quarter with 37. 37 points is more than the scoring output of a regular NBA team per quarter, but Klay did it all on his own. In that particular game, he lit up the scoreboard and torched the Kings on a perfect shooting display of 13 out of 13 from the field and 9 out of 9 from downtown. And what's even more amazing was that he never took more than 2 dribbles before jacking up each shot, as the majority of them came from catch-and-shoot situations. When Klay is in that special zone of his, everything just becomes a regular shooting drill for him. A one-time three-point contest champion, five-time All-Star, and a three-time NBA champ, Klay's stock of being a legit sharpshooter keeps rising, and we will be expecting more long bombs coming from him when he steps back on the court next season. Number 1. Steph Curry. If you frequently play NBA 2K, there's a chance that you have adjusted the sliders to make all of your shots automatically go in because sometimes the AIs are just so tough to beat. But in the case of Steph Curry, it's the other way around, as he would put on the video game version of himself in real life. Seeing Curry's shots keep going in is like playing NBA 2K when the three-point sliders are maxed out. Currently ranked third among active players in three-point percentage, Steph has one of the most gorgeous and smooth shooting forms in NBA history, and what made him a transcendent shooter is his ability to shoot from a wickedly far range. Others may consider Steph's 30-footers as a bad shot, but for him, it's just like a casual layup or a free throw drill. Just this January, Steph has broken and surpassed Reggie Miller's all-time record of 2,563 pointers made in under 715 games only. For the record, it took Miller 1,388 career games to reach 2,560, while the number 3 guy on the list, Ray Allen, needed 1,074 games to reach that same milestone. Currently, Steph is just 141 threes behind Ray Allen for claiming the crown of having the most three-pointers made in NBA history. And we could probably see this happening next season, given that Steph is healthy and continues shooting at his normal pace. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button as it really helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe as well and hit the bell icon so that you never miss a video. Let us know in the comments below who you think is the best shooter of all time.